when does freedom become more actually limiting? I guess
freedom
that
becomes slavery. Yeah.
I suppose that depends on how good you are at managing, at kind of micromanaging each of those separate pieces. And if I mean, and I kind of feel this way whenever I look at your mixes, and I see you've got this sidechain to that, and then like this bus running through that compressor, and then everything through this reverb, and then these three tracks are triggering this and another thing. I'm like, oh my god, like if I tried to deal with that, I would spend the entire time patching everything together, and when it got to the actual music making, there'd be none left.
Yeah.
So
That's how
I
I feel
think
about when I look at modular. I was just like, it's too much control.
modular is not that hard. You have everything is blocked right out for you. You just
Well,
have to connect the cables in the way you want it to.
I have 10 cents, but I'm like, okay, well, so what if 10 cents was made out of 10 things that were more complicated than the one of the cents that you have here? Like, that's too much. I don't need that.
Yeah, it's definitely like you have all of the individual pieces, and depending on your perspective, you either get to put them in whatever order you want, or you have to put them in the right order. So
Yeah, but at the same time, I think one of the reasons, like a modular song, even that's a little strong, song sounds the way it does because it is so limiting. Like even like you have a $10,000 modular setup, that means you have like 4 voices generally, and like a basic drum.
Sometimes only even 2.
Yeah, and because of that, like these are rich, complex, like intricate sounds with so much expression because you built this person almost. You built this creature. You know about him. Why? Because you built every aspect or many of the aspects of his personality. You know how he responds. At the same, and then you can interact. And the whole concept of the CV is that you build these relationships and things, and you don't exactly know. They're so complicated because this triggers this, and then it triggers back into itself, and then this infinite like simulation of, it's almost what do you call it, it's almost like God with like a little like world,
Oh yeah, I always, whenever I work with modular stuff, which is not too frequently, but I do a little bit of it, and I always feel like Dr. Frankenstein, and then usually what ends up happening is like actually something more like Young Frankenstein, where I'll get to doing everything I think I wanted, and it's like, oh, it's perfect, I've got it, and then it sounds like shit. I'm like, oh. But that's also important because it kind of introduces this perspective of understanding where you're capable of bringing something, an idea that you have, and how that translates to the real world. And